Alright, welcome finally to my top 15 albums of 2017. There's been a few changes to this list. I did have a set list that I was going to reveal, but then I just got so mixed up in it, and I really had to reorganize a bunch of things on the list, big time, because I realized I've actually listened to other albums more than others on my list, and it just didn't seem like I was telling the truth. So I did make some changes. Anyways, so before I get started, I want to do some honorable mentions. For honorable mentions, I want to give some attention to Nickelback's Feed the Machine, Gorillaz' Humans. Let's see. Where is it? Dragon Force, Reaching into Infinity. Where is it? Arcspire, Relentless Mutation, Cannibal Corpse, Red Before Black, and Suffocation of the Dark Light. Sorry, I have a little list and it's so messed up. I didn't really organize it too well. Anyways, those are my honorable mentions. I hope I got those clear enough. So, on to the top 15. Now, two of these I do not have the physical copies to. Well, one of them I think I do. I'm looking for it, but the other one I do know I don't. All right. So, anyways, coming up at number 15 is Through the Eyes of the Dead, Dysmosis. Very, very creative album. A very nice return of the band. I praise them big time. Coming in number 14 is Arch Enemy, Will to Power. Catchy. Had me more hooked than I thought. Alright. Number 13 is Cut Up, Wherever They May Rot. Very brutal album. Incredibly catchy, as other Cut Up stuff is. So yeah, there's that. Coming in at number 12 is Creator, Gods of Violence. It's a very, very good album. Very Slayer feeling. So it's a good stress reliever for me, at least. All right. Up next is Morbid Angel, A Kingdom's Disdain. This came out very late 2017, but I listened to this more than I thought I would, but not as much as I thought I would at the same time. It's fairly weird. I'm stupid. Anyways. Up next is the Black Dahlia Murder, Nightbringers. Fantastic album. These guys never disappoint. I swear their albums are like coming out every year, and they always have something good to put out. So definitely a good one. Up next is the Acacia Strain, Grave Bloom. Fairly catchy. I did listen to this a lot, especially when I was in my dark times. I did listen to this a lot. So, and up next, is The Contortionist. I can't really read that. Clairvoyant, that's what it is. The Contortionist, Clairvoyant. Wow, I'm very out of order here, but yeah, that's very, I say catchy for all of them, but this one's definitely catchy. It's definitely like a different feel from what they usually did back in The Language, or I think it's just called The Language. But Clairvoyant is definitely a change of pace, and I do recommend it. All right, up next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And up next, all right, is number 7, and that is August Burns Red, Phantom Anthem. I listened to this a lot more than I thought I would. I was never really a huge fan of August Burns Red, but this album, and there's another album from them that I really enjoyed. The earlier days of them, I did not really enjoy, but I do like this version of them. Coming in at number 6 will be Willie Nelson's God's Problem Child. Definitely another awesome entrance from the man himself, who's basically made one of the best songs I've heard, called Still Not Dead. Definitely give that a listen if you haven't already. And yeah, Coming in at number 5 is Darkest Hour, Godless Prophets, and the Migrant Flora. The Darkest Hour, I thought they broke up, but they didn't. I thought they did, but they didn't. But this is definitely a good album if you're starting off with this band. Like, if you're just trying to figure that out, like trying to discovering them, this is definitely a good album to start with. It's had like no problems with me. I thought this was a flawless album, to be completely honest. And yeah, anyways, up next is Asking Alexandria's self-titled. I may be judged a lot for this, but I think Danny Warsnop's return definitely was well-deserved and very welcome, to me at least. I always liked this band, but I think this one's the most mature out of all of them and the most shown talent from everybody in the band. I think this is possibly the best album they've made so far. I didn't like The Black. I was okay with From Death to Destiny. I think that's what it's called. And the other two, obviously it's just them starting out as they are, but this is definitely a good one. Possibly the best one they've made. So I recommend that. Coming up at number 3 is Glenn Campbell, Adios. This is a very respectful farewell to the country singer. He had Alzheimer's, and it was kind of hard for me. I can't imagine how hard it was for the family for it, but definitely for me, it kind of hit me a bit because I do love Glenn Campbell. I have a plastic, like, unwrapped record of Glenn Campbell of Rhinestone Cowboy. Thank you, Grandma, by the way, if you're watching this. Anyways, but yeah, rest in peace, Glenn Campbell. You'll be dearly missed, and I will definitely remember you from this album. Yeah. All right, coming at number 2, this was actually my number 1 metal album. If you remember that back in December. But that's Make Them Suffer Worlds Apart. I almost said Everbloom for some reason, but Worlds Apart. An astonishing album, very catchy. I've listened to this way more than I needed to. When it first came out, I binged the whole thing on the drive to Pennsylvania, and well, not to Pennsylvania, but to my grandparents' house in Pennsylvania, and I just had a blast with this album. I listened to it the whole time I was on vacation. This and my number 1 album of the year, which I listened to slightly more than this, also came out the same day, and I listened to that just as much, especially the singles even before it came out. Anyways, this is definitely a well-recommended pickup from this band. They're amazing. They never disappoint me. Old Souls I did like, but I think this was their best ever so far. So yeah. And then coming up at the number 1 spot, a lot of people are going to be surprised because I'm not really one for the genre. A lot of people are going to be like, what? But this is definitely one of those albums that drove me so emotionally, that made me feel something from it, that made me relate a little bit to it. And it's got to be it. It's NF Perception. This guy never lets me down. He doesn't know how to make a bad song. There are some that are what people would call edgy, but not on this album at all. He goes intensely hard on this LP. It's heart-wrenching, and it's very emotional and very relatable at the same time. I listened to this way more than any other album other than Disturbed. Disturbed I've listened to all the time. They're my favorite band. But I haven't listened to an album more than 100 hours in this album. That's exaggerating. I guess I could say I logged about 50 maybe 75 hours just listening to this album alone. Every single song doesn't get old. They're still not old to me. As much as I don't listen to it as much as I used to, it's incredible, honestly. So, yeah, I did not make a review of this, I don't think, but if you want to discover NF, I definitely recommend Perception. NF, you don't let me down. Anyways, that has been my list of my top 15 albums of 2017. I'm looking at my screen here, making sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah. So, if you guys do agree with my list and you think maybe some other things should go higher, maybe other things should go lower, let me know in the comments. I'm actually really curious. But yeah. Sorry this took so long. This was probably one of the harder lists I made. And I've always was just kind of holding it off. I'm going to try to make a few more lists because I kind of want to. List most listened to albums of 2017. This is just albums that were released in 2017 that I listened to the most. But this is definitely the 15 that I've basically highlighted my life with. So, anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like. If you did, make sure to dislike. If you didn't, maybe I did something wrong. I hope you like my new border here. This was kind of just not really intended, but I just did it anyways. Yeah. Subscribe if you are new. I love music. I do video games. A lot of video games. I do live streams. All the live streams and everything are linked in the description below. If you want to go to my Facebook page that I'm booting back up slowly, that's in the description below as well. Anyways, I love you guys. Goodbye.